If you had the power to marry 27 women and then divorce most of them, if you had the power to influence the most successful musicians in the world and inspire hatred from heads of state even after your death, what would you do with it? This is the true story of the pioneer of Afrobeat, a musical and socio-political voice of international significance. This is the true story of FELA ANIKULAPO KUTI. Olufela Olusegun Oludotun Ransom Kuti was born into the Ransom Kuti family, an upper-middle-class Nigerian family, on the 15th of October 1938 in Abeokuta, the modern-day capital of Ogun State, which at the time was a city in the British colony of Nigeria. His mother, Chief Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, was an anti-colonial feminist, showing that the idea of feminism was not alien to Nigeria. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie would also become another famous Nigerian feminist. Fela's father, Reverend Israel Oludotun Ransom Kuti, was an Anglican minister, school principal, and the first president of the Nigerian Union of Teachers. Kuti's parents both played active roles in the anti-colonial movement in Nigeria, most notably the Abeokuta Women's Riots, which was led by his mother in 1946. Kuti was first cousin to the writer and Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka, the first black African to win the Nobel Prize for Literature.
It was a broken background. You're bringing teaching school. But my father was a pastor, and they called the language, they called our own languages vernacular. One important thing they taught us was politics. Because I wove in the song to the elections in Nigeria, because it was a farce. You see, people don't know the God of patience. Go to Babalawo in Nigeria.
Though he was sent to London in 1958 to study medicine, he decided to study music instead, at the Trinity College of Music, with the trumpet being his preferred instrument. While there, he formed the band Kola Lobitos, and in 1960, Kuti married his first wife, Remi Taylor, with whom he had 3 children, Femi, Yeni, and Sola. Kuti moved back to the newly independent Federation of Nigeria, where he played for some time with Victor Olaiya and his All Stars. Later on, Kuti formed the Kalakuta Republic and set up a nightclub in the Empire Hotel, first named the Afro Spot and later the Africa Shrine, where he both performed regularly and officiated at personalized Yoruba traditional ceremonies in honor of his nation's ancestral faith. He also changed his name to Anikulapo, meaning he who carries death in his pouch, with the interpretation, I will be the master of my own destiny and will decide when it is time for death to take me. He stopped using the hyphenated surname Ransom because he considered it a slave name. Kuti's music was popular among the Nigerian public and Africans in general. He decided to sing in Pidgin English so that individuals all over Africa would enjoy his music, where the local languages they speak are diverse and numerous. As popular as Kuti's music had become in Nigeria and elsewhere, it was unpopular with the ruling government, and raids on the Kalakuta Republic were frequent. In 1977, Kuti and his band Africa 70 released the album Zombie, which heavily criticized Nigerian soldiers and used the zombie metaphor to describe the Nigerian military methods. The album was a massive success and infuriated the government, who raided the Kalakuta Republic with 1,000 soldiers. During the raid, Kuti was severely beaten, and his elderly mother, the first woman to drive a car in Nigeria, was fatally injured after being thrown from a window. The commune was burnt down, and Kuti's studio, instruments, and master tapes were destroyed. Kuti claimed that he would have been killed had it not been for a commanding officer's intervention as he was being beaten. Kuti's response to the attack was to deliver his mother's coffin to the Dodon barracks in Lagos, which was the former military head of state General Olusegun Obasanjo's residence. Kuti also wrote 2 songs, Coffin for Head of State and Unknown Soldier, in reference to the official inquiry that claimed an unknown soldier had destroyed the commune.
Can sing about love, can sing about whom you're going to bed with next.
In 1978, he married 27 women. Many of them were dancers, composers, and singers with whom he worked. The marriage served not only to mark the anniversary of the attack on the Kalakuta Republic, but also to protect Kuti and his wives from authorities' false claims that Fela Kuti was kidnapping women. Later, he adopted a rotation system of maintaining 12 simultaneous wives. In 1979, Kuti formed his political party, which he called Movement of the People, MOP, to clean up society like a mop. But he quickly became inactive due to his confrontations with the government of the day. In 1963, Kuti nominated himself for president in Nigeria's first elections in decades, but his candidature was refused. In 1984, Muhammadu Buhari's government, of which Kuti was a vocal opponent, jailed him on the charge of currency smuggling. Amnesty International and others denounced the charges as politically motivated. Amnesty designated him a prisoner of conscience, and other human rights groups also took up his case. After 20 months, General Ibrahim Babangida released him from prison. On his release, Kuti divorced his 12 remaining wives, citing, quote, "Marriage brings jealousy and selfishness," end of quote, since his wives would regularly compete for superiority. On 21st January 1993, rumors speculated that he was suffering from an illness for which he was refusing treatment. However, there had been no confirmed statements from Kuti about this speculation. On the 3rd of August 1997, Kuti's brother Olikoye Ransom Kuti, already a prominent AIDS activist and former Minister of Health, announced that Kuti had died on the previous day from complications related to AIDS. Kuti had been an AIDS denialist, and his widow maintained that he did not die of AIDS. His youngest son, Sheung, took the role of leading Kuti's former band, Egypt 80. As of 2022, the band is still active, releasing music under the moniker Sheung Kuti and Egypt 80. There's a video on the Nigerian Civil War and a video on the history of the Nigerian flag that I know you would love. Just check out the links in the description, and I'll see you on the other side.